about
spontaneous percussion.
I told you I'll be going live twice today, man. Shout out to everybody that was live with me for the Everton Blair conversation. For y'all that wasn't there, you can definitely go check that out. We had a conversation about him running for Congress, as well as how you have a bunch of old Democrats that kind of want their position to be pried from their cold hands and their death. So if you're interested in that conversation, if you're interested in knowing what Congress does, if you're interested in knowing more about the specific race in Georgia, I definitely encourage you to go watch that. Today, though, right now, I say right now, we're finna get a little bit more, I'm gonna say, radical in nature in terms of international politics and connecting the international to the local, the macro to the micro to the macro, the big to the small. I got my boy right here, man. I gotta bust it out with a little joke. When I bring him on the screen in the comment section, tell me who y'all think he like who y'all think he looks similar to, and then I'll tell y'all. I ain't gonna spoil it at all, man. What up, Lavish though, man? What's going on?
How you doing, brother? Glad to be here.
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing real good.
We need to
man.
see what these people think in the comments.
Yeah, man. We're gonna see what they say in the comments, man. We're gonna see what they say in the comments. Why people pull up and they tell me who you kind of. I had two people in mind, y'all, who I think this guy looks like. I'm curious who y'all think, you know what I'm saying? But why they do that and why they pull up to the conversation, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, kind of, you know, a little bit about your politics. Actually, what you go by, where you from, and what your take is in terms of the international to the grassroots.
Word. My name's Lavish. I'm from Minneapolis. I grew up a couple blocks away from where George Floyd was killed, and I was actually there yesterday for a vigil of someone who we lost, a community member. And I didn't get my start necessarily like in activism or this class consciousness because of George Floyd being taken from us. But obviously that like propelled it to a level that maybe, you know, that was a super huge catalyst. So for my first like 2 years locked in 2020, 2021, it was all like hyper local, I would say. There wasn't really too much intersection outside of like Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Until you know, you start to do the education and you see all of these interconnected systems, which even if you know it is, maybe you don't see how you can apply yourself to those situations. So I started really going, I actually ran for office here in Minneapolis. Thankfully, I lost that because fuck the two-party system. We can cuss on here?
Definitely.
Okay, rock. Let's go. So that got me going crazy on TikTok, and I just started doing all these videos. This was in like 2023. And that really, I think the first person that reached out to me and it became like me going outside of Minneapolis was actually Butch Ware. He invited me to host a panel in 2024, and I had been just consistent in Minneapolis, holding it down, organizing, which looked different than what I'm doing now. It was more like really grassroots, really in the streets, still boots on the ground today, but now maybe it's in Cuba or it's in Barcelona or it's in Egypt or it's in Brussels for a UN meeting or whatever. So, you know, yeah.
What was it? What was it specifically that allowed for you to connect the dots internationally to what was going on with you in Minneapolis?
My grandpa, my mom's dad was a Black Panther. He was actually in SNCC before being a Black Panther. And I never met him. He died from schizophrenia. All these Black Panthers died from schizophrenia. Right. So just knowing that though, I grew up across the hall from a Palestinian family since like the 80s. Our family's been friends. So I had it. I knew it. I just never was like, I don't know. I never knew how to apply it or how to go after it. Right. But we never know how to do anything until we know how to do it. We didn't know how to walk at one time, right? So I guess the application was knowing that these larger systems at play, these bigger oppressive systems are the ones controlling more small things like the police.
Right.
Or some local policy or some shit like that, you know? So then just addressing these bigger systems and having more of an international geopolitical outlook on it, it just feels different.
Do people ever push back with how much you do things internationally based off of what's going on domestically, i.e. Lavish, why the hell you taking your ass to Cuba, bro? We got our own shit to worry about here in America.
Right.
Like, do you hear that?
I think at first when I like transitioned out of like Black Lives Matter as fuck, yeah, but also me having the privilege of being like as white as I am, it's also different and shit. You know what I mean? For you, they gonna look at you like, bro, on some why are you caring about everybody else shit, which is an ignorant stance, obviously. But so maybe that pushback was in the beginning, but there's always that, right? With anything that we do. So I was at George Floyd Square yesterday, and I was received in a way that I hadn't been before. And I was like honored. Like these are all community members. Like we've known each other for like 6+ years, but I was just like held in this different way, kind of. And I think it's due to the level, the capacity of work that I've been doing, you've been doing, we've been doing, but it just is like a different level. So it's been love, actually.
Man, man, man,
Have you been
man.
to George Floyd Square?
I don't think so. I'm
Bro, we
being
got to bring you up here.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I have been to George Floyd Square. Uh
Yeah.
Man, but like now I'm curious. What did you do first? Did you do the flotilla? Like, did you go to Barcelona
Mm.
first, or did you go to Cuba first? Like, what did
The
you do
first
first?
international for real shit I did was the Global March to Gaza, which was just last year. Like that wasn't even too long ago. Um,
And
that
what
was
was
like
that?
me.
March to Augusta. What was that? What was that?
So that was like the first attempt before these boats, kind of in a way. So these boats, the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, who's made by Huwaida Araf, she's been going for like 18 years. She gonna go regardless. It doesn't matter what's happening. She's going. She's Palestinian and she's going. She might be Ghazawi, I don't know, but she has successfully taken a boat. She last time she succeeded, I think, was in '08 or 11. It was a minute ago, but there was an attempt to cross the Rafah border crossing, which was where all those trucks were just stopped forever with all
Yeah,
this
yeah,
aid, right? We were about to walk through that joint, and there was like 4,000 of us from the West, and then there was like 11,000 from North Africa. And they were called the Samud Convoy. Samud means, fuck, in Arabic, it means like, not dignity or like it's like willingness to go through a struggle, like solidarity or some shit like that. I'm forgetting the exact terminology, but there was gonna be like 15,000 of us in total. They got stopped at the Egyptian border, like between. They didn't even get into Egypt, actually, I think. But we tried to walk across the Sinai Peninsula, which you cannot do. Like the mobilization was absolutely crazy, but the organization was fucking
crazy. Yeah.
0% organized. But it was mobilized. It was
How
mobilized crazy. So there was like 4,000 of us that went to this.
what
It
ended up
wasn't just
happening
me.
with that? What ended up happening with the like? What ended up like? Y'all made it there? Like almost 15,000.
We we
I got
tried to go, and there's like 4 military checkpoints to get to this city called Al Arish. And some people, a lot of thousands of people got through the first and second. Maybe like 500 got through the third, and like 10 people got through the fourth. So only 10 people made it through, like to the Sinai. And those people that made it through got their ass beat by these Bedouins. This is crazy. But the Bedouins are like, they're not anti the movement, or they're not like anti Palestine, or they weren't against us. It's just that they're so oppressed and under like government occupation that the police pay them to do their bidding, basically. So it looks like the government's not doing it. It looks like these locals are doing it, but they're just being used. So no shade to them, but that shit was crazy. So after that, I was in Europe covering like UN meetings and shit. Much more calm, but still, they go crazy in Europe.
man. So what I feel like a lot of us as Americans usually be very ignorant to like geopolitics,
Yeah,
especially when you find yourself in the mud. Like, hold on, you say we doing what? We got to do four
right,
chickens, and
right,
it's 15,000 of us, and maybe 10 of us gonna make it.
right.
What in terms of how you do your grassroots movements or how you understand local politics, how has the international shit informed what you do? I'm saying on a local level now. Like how, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you was more Black Lives Matter, more focused on Minneapolis. Of course, now you still in Minneapolis. You was at, I'm saying, George Floyd Square yesterday. How has the international shit informed how you think about the local?
I mean, you look at it like this. So I was here. I grew up a couple blocks away from where Alex Preddy was killed. I went to school Like this is crazy. My mom's last apartment that she had in Minneapolis was a couple blocks away from where Renee Good was killed. There's people in the West Bank with that exact same story, but we just don't know who the people that were killed are. Right? So then you go to the ICE detention center and you're like, yo, this looks just like the West Bank, the conditions that they live in every day. There was definitely an occupation here in a way. There was a blockade, basically, you could call it, the same that Cuba had. It was just different. But you couldn't go to a store. You couldn't go out. The average classroom size in Minneapolis is like 39, 40 kids. During the craziness of ICE, it was 6. Kids weren't going to school for months because parents are like, hell no. Minneapolis is super diverse. We got we have the largest Somali population, I think, outside of Somalia,
Definitely, for sure.
like per capita, maybe. I don't know if it's by numbers. Then we have a crazy amount of Latinos, like Mexicans. We have a lot of Hmong people because Minnesota was in the 90s was like a sanctuary state, kind of like California is now or other places. So you look at these things that are happening to us as like this imperial boomerang, right? Like we allowed these other places to get away with it with absolute impunity and because they don't look like us, they don't laugh like us, they don't make the same food or same culture, same language. And then we like, oh, we didn't give a fuck when it was over there, but now it's happening here. So you can't look at it within a microscope. You know, we got to be able to zoom out and be like, these are all the same struggles. And obviously the Black Panthers to bring that up again, they were in Algeria, they were in Cuba, they were, you know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
exactly. So it's definitely how has it like helped or impacted my practice is just like enhancing the praxis and deepening the understanding and knowing that the struggle is a class warfare, right? And
Yeah,
that how many of us are there going through it might look different depending, like even in the United States it might look different. Texas might look different than Minnesota, but it's the same shit.
yeah, definitely same shit. Definitely same shit. When you was talking, remember the quote that fascism is nothing but imperialism turned inward. You know what I'm saying? It made me think.
Hmm.
I think a lot of us got coerced in to consent to a lot of militarized forces because we were
Right.
fooled was the brown people, the Arabs, the Muslims, the whatever, and that was being
Yeah.
turned. This is like, fair game. What do you expect? I think that a lot of us is grappling with the ugly reality of that. And too, I think that a lot of us are taught that America is the good guys. America
Yeah.
is the police of freedom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
About the world. So shit, I think that a lot of us are being forced to view democracy through an international lens and not so much the romanticized domestic one.
For
What
real.
what what was going on in when you went to Cuba? 'Cause I feel like Cuba was talked about not as much as the other things was going on. He said he looks familiar. I can't call it. What you
Where do you see the comments, bro?
you go, I think it should be to the right. It should be to the right of
Okay,
you.
okay.
Are you on the phone though, huh? You on the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I can't see you. I'm saying you're on the
Okay,
phone.
true.
But yeah.
Um, man, the Cuba shit was crazy. Have you been? Bro, you gotta go. It really puts it into perspective when you go to Cuba and you recognize, oh damn, this is a black ass island. You like, oh, this is like a majority black population. So it also adds in why America hates Cuba so much. Outside of the fact that America and the monopoly essentially can never go to sleep as long as Cuba and the idea of dignity and resistance that Cuba has always had exists, the monopoly can't sleep because they know if the rest of Latin America wakes up and raises that flag of dignity the way that Cuba has or other countries have, but they do it collectively, America's gone.
For sure. And I think that I know me going back and learning about the Monroe Doctrine, learning like going back and relearning about Red Scare McCarthyism. It's like, nah, this is how we've done it right here. I can
Right.
justify the entire country saying fuck Cuba if I can say that they are likely to become some communist, socialist, Russian, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
in our backyard. We can't have that. So we
Yeah.
ain't got to talk about them being, colored people or racialized people. We can talk about them as being potential communists and socialists. That we got to make sure we lock down in police. And I realized that a
Right.
lot of Americans bought into that paradigm when it comes to talking about Cuba. So interesting you say that.
Yeah, no, that's super true. I mean, and then if you're a socialist country, you can't really succeed with socialism if you can't be social with no other socialist countries. Like you need
Yeah,
They need Russia or USSR. They need China. Like you can't. America has stomped it out so much, but the people there got are so resilient. There's some crazy connections here when we talk about looking at like geopolitical or like zooming out and knowing that all these struggles are the same. This is crazy. Up until the blockade, up until the genocide, Cuba and Gaza had the lowest infant mortality rates in the world.
Hmm.
They also have the highest literacy rates in the fucking world.
Yeah.
They also are the number 1 and 2 places for doctors per people. Cuba's number 1. 81 doctors per 1,000 people. That's insane, bro. How many in the United States? It's probably, I can't even guess. I don't even know a doctor. Any doctor I know, they're not medical. They like a doctor of philosophy and shit. So, what else? And then there's this, I don't know, there's no crime, bro. There's no crime in Cuba. Like, of course, there's like little bullshit or whatever, but like basically it's non-existent. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
man.
I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot to be said for how you're able to dedicate so much time and putting your body on the line and going to Cuba or going to Egypt or going to Barcelona. But I also know that there has been a lot of obstacles in returning that either you or people that you've returned with that space. And to me, I think that puts a lot of the way that we're taught democracy gives you in freedom and ensures migration movement. And how,
Right.
from an ideological standpoint, if you are challenging democracy, all that shit democracy claim to give you, take it away.
Yeah.
So can you tell my audience a little bit about the experiences you or people had in returning and immigration, having your phone stolen, having people be detained for a long time.
Yeah.
I was talking to you and Chris. That was something that became like damn, I should think about this more.
Yeah, bro, that shit is real. So the first time it happened to me, the first time that I was detained by Border Patrol was when I came back from Egypt from the Global March. Now, I was out there talking that shit. No one out there was telling the full truth about the Egyptian government's complacency. Is that the right word? With Israel. They weren't talking about it. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna talk about it. They're like, bro, they're gonna get you. You're gonna get popped. I'm like, so you want me because of the fear of danger to not keep it real? I don't give a fuck. So I was keeping it damn too real. We got we got chased out of the country. Basically, a group that I was with, they came to our compound, they banging on the doors. It was insane. And we had to escape like via taxis to the airport. Boom. When I get back to the United States, I got detained EWR, New Jersey, for like 6 hours, bro. They asked me, I made a video about this. Like, I'll say it again. I don't give a shit. It's not like I'm afraid to say it. But they asked me, interrogated for like 3 hours. I'm talking like really, like not interrogated like in the movies where it's like they're like borderline fucking you up. You know what I mean? But they'd move me from room to room to room. And mind you, this is just me. It's not like when we came back from Cuba and got detained and there was 20 of us. This was just me. And they asked me at least 20 times what my involvement with Hamas was. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm American. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm American. So that was insane. That one was insane. But this one that we just got detained on the way back from Cuba, Chris Smalls, myself, a journalist, a war journalist that's done amazing work, Jihan, my guy Chuck, and a lot of other people, actually, 20 of us in total got detained on the way back from Cuba. Our group was pretty radical. One of the people on there was on an Interpol list. I'm on we all on FBI list. Come on, you know? Yeah. So that being said, they took 18 of the 20 of us phones, interrogated us maybe like an hour, held us for like 3 hours. It wasn't nearly my previous experience, but it was fucked up for sure. Like, how much data did they get off 18 phones? They sent everybody their phones back in 3-4 days. I got mine back in like 2 weeks. And I don't know if Chris Smalls ever got his shit back, but yeah, bro, that, you know, clearly targeted, clearly, even though Marco Rubio was like, we're going to allow the flotilla to go through or whatever they said, we're going to allow aid to Cuba. that doesn't mean that they want people to go there and support and whatever. So that was definitely targeted and intentional. Like they knew we were coming back. I don't know to what level, but they want that. So then when I linked up with you in California, bro, I had anxiety in the damn airport.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm not even flying out the country, and I'm like, fuck, bro. But they want that. They want us to be so full of fear, not empowered, weak, not emboldened, not ready, not resilient. They want us to be damn downtrodden and scared so that we don't keep fighting.
Yeah, and just the outright targeting of ideology or values or politics. Because I'm just thinking of like, man, I just got done watching a whole bunch of shit about Mormons. And it's like, hey, these folks are gonna travel the country, they're gonna travel the world. They're gonna travel the world and push their ideology.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Shit, make you come to their religious doctrines.
Yeah.
And they can travel freely and cross borders and do a whole bunch of aid and extract wealth and all that type of shit. But if you a little anti-capitalist or you believe genocide is bad, goddamn, or you think American imperialism is a little faulty, man, I think that your ability to migrate, your ability to go freely from border to border and this and the other, we're gonna police it. We're gonna survey it the same way. We're gonna try to stifle it. That's to me, that's something that I had to say out loud for the listeners, for the people that's watching, whether you're watching it live or watching it in the time. It's like, hey, right,
that's a good point.
This country tells us that democracy is the most freest thing we can have in human time. In real time in 2026, democracy is the freest form of government that we have. We also have a history that shows you that democracy will wipe your ass out if it feels like you are a threat to it, metaphorically or literally. And I think when I think about like Cuba, the whole South America, that's what I think about. I think about how the FBI, the CIA, American corporations have been able to play games of morals and ethics, of being able to can I get an ethical, moral response out of your ass to manufacture American imperialism
exactly.
I can, then shit. I can make sure I can ensure American imperialism and the American hegemony is going to ensure itself throughout South America. If I can't though, I'm gonna be able to do it no matter what. Actually,
yeah, exactly. America gonna get that shit. However, but maybe not moving forward. Historically, though,
I think I'm curious what you think about this. I think moving forward, we're seeing global international relations. We're seeing global politics transform from unilateral America dominate the entirety of it to going into a multipolarity, like there are multiple different countries that are able to be a leader or able to be, you feel me, have dominance. Not the way that America's been able to monopolize dominance since World War II. Would you agree with that, or would you be like, I don't know?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, you saw yesterday Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong-un, like 2 days ago, they linked up for the first time, all three of them.
I did not see that.
Bro, that shit's crazy. So, I mean, I'm here for it. That new law where you can't, like, I don't know if it's passed, but you can't, like, say anti-American shit. Or you'll be like,
yeah, I made a video about it, but I think that it's inevitable, honestly.
Is it going to pass? Is it passed?
It wasn't necessarily a bill that was trying to be passed. It was Trump administration putting together a task force with the FBI.
Okay. So it's like, fuck it. We do whatever we want.
Exactly. So it's like,
which is what ICE is. It's his little fucking task force.
But to be honest with you, I think that no matter what you say on this live stream, you already anti-American, anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist. You already challenged the global.
For sure. And I don't toe the line about the shit, but my point
you feel me?
Right. Yeah. We drawing the damn line. So I mean, I fuck with the enemy of the West, like whoever that is.
I feel like I ain't even got to go that far, really. I can just say the way that Western authority views my humanity and views my identity, I'm seen as an inherent enemy of the West if I decide that my humanity matters, or I decide that I can view my humanity outside of Western epistemologies, outside of the way the Western civilization that's been colonized by white Europeans, the way they want me to view knowledge production, I don't view it that way. And it's a long history of me doing it that way. And I just think that right now, all of the legitimacy of America and democracy is going to be called into question once you're able to go after people in the same way that you've been able to justify invading countries. We justified invading Cuba, doing the invasion of the pigs of invasion and all that shit. We justified that by saying, hey, the reason why America matters is because you can be anti-American. We say freedom ain't free because the soldiers go across there to go fight for our freedom to be able to say fuck America. That's an American freedom that you have. Once they able to make it where you can use my same tax dollars to come hunt me down,
exactly.
It is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'll be waiting when y'all come type shit, but also the world watching. And you used to be able to justify through the benevolence, still powerful by being saying, hey, we are the most ethical, we are the most moral. You ain't able to do that once you're able to go and
we never really were. It was just motherfuckers was asleep. Like I think about my dad reading the newspaper. Like there's this one vivid memory I have. We'd go to McDonald's and shit. He'd get a coffee, egg McMuffin, and he'd read the newspaper. And it'd be like Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
And Bill Clinton was going crazy. Obama was going crazy, destroyed Libya, assassinated fucking the legend Gaddafi, like all this shit. But it was like palatable. Not really, but to the people that was awake. But how many people were asleep? Just after October 7th, 2023, America had like a 95% rating for Israel right after October 7th. Now it's like 80% in favor of Palestine. But how fucking stupid was everybody, or indoctrinated, or ignorant, or miseducated, whatever you want to say?
Look a lot, man. From a programming perspective, there were a lot of things that was in our disfavor for being able to view ethics and morals, especially when it comes to viewing genocide. I think like when Cory Booker sucker ass was lying to everybody, him and the rest of the establishment Democrats, they can't think for themselves, that always got their head so far up APEC ass they can't really even make an ethical decision. When they was lying to us and saying that we have to sell TikTok because we worried about the Chinese, a lot of us already knew, no, bro, you're doing this because you need Israel, and Netanyahu told y'all that this thing is impacting the way that people view Israel. I think that like through programming, through the law, through education, through entertainment, there was a lot of ways that Zionists were able to package indoctrination to always already being about the existence and protection of Israel. Once you had social media that had niggas like you and niggas like me and a whole bunch of other different pro-Palestinian people throughout the spectrum.
Hell yeah.
Now FTC can't dictate, you know what I'm saying, what we say about Palestinian livelihood. Now you feel FTC and the rest of the Zionist owned companies, they can't dictate what we say about Palestinian resistance. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it started making it fall apart. Because now think about it. Up until October 7th, I would argue that Islamophobia, either you are a crazy Arab that want to blow up motherfuckers, or you getting Arab money with an oil at. I would argue
it was a monolith. It's like they existed within a vacuum.
Definitely. And I think seeing Palestinian children blown up on your cell phone, seeing people pick up limbs from under rubble and shit, that definitely impacted the entire world of how we view people as we seen as being the perpetual victims of the Middle East. You feel me? Hey, the Middle East, anytime we start talking about victimization in the world of the Middle East, you always already view Israel as being the perpetual victim. They always already victimized. That's the reason why we have to always say they have the right to exist and the right to defend themselves, because everybody's always talking about that playbook fell apart, bro.
Exactly. And then that's the exact international connection right there. That's the solidarity connection right there. That's the exact same playbook as any white supremacist settler colonial project is. I'm a victim. You could bring it into Emmett Till. Like it's the exact, that it's 360.
360. And I feel like I'm getting philosophical. I think now we starting to get into, some would call it, some scholars will call it the settlers' move to innocence. Some people even call it like white psychopathology. For me, it's thinking about how the notion of sovereignty and freedom is always pushed through that victimizer, you know what I'm saying, type of paradigm. And usually the settler is able to corner the marker in what it means to see as a victim, or what it means person that's being
narrative.
They can always justify, you know what I'm saying, shit, Cowboys and Indians. We never look
Right.
like, think about it in terms of Cowboys and Indians. When we play that game, we think about it like linguistically. We never view Cowboys as being the invaders. We never view Cowboys as being the intruders.
Right.
Cowboys and Indians already has an embedded understanding of savagery, or already embedded understanding of being anti-human when we start talking about Cowboys and Indians. Who is the bad guys in Cowboys and Indians? The Indians. Guys. You know what I'm saying? I think that on a very like micro lens, to me, applies on a structural lens when we start talking about settler colonialism. The settlers in every sense always claim to be victims. And here in America, they were being scalped. The Native Americans were scalping them and were kidnapping them and were pillaging. Mm-hmm. They were victims.
Yeah. And you know, fuck, I was on the phone with my dad yesterday. My dad is fully Irish, but he's just a white American. Like, there's no Irish.
Somebody said, hey, I think bro look like Corbin Blue mixed with Matthew McConaughey. That's what I think bro look like. You know what I'm saying? It's
a divine compliment. If it was just Corbin Blue, I'm in high school, I'm traumatized. Fuck. But the Matthew McConaughey brings it together. I don't know what it is.
Listen, fam, I'm telling you, fam, the reason why you're on the list is because all of the Hollywood execs said we got this racially ambiguous motherfucker trying to fight freedom instead of being in one of my rom-com films.
No, literally.
Go get him.
Bro, imagine I cut my hair. I'd be right in line. Man, bro, fuck, what was it perfectly in line with what you were saying about
victimization. People always
exactly. My dad will always do this where he'll take up the side. Bro, when the fucking Queen of England died, my dad, fully Irish, bro. Like his grandparents born in Ireland. Like,
so hold on, your mom is black and your dad is white?
Yeah.
Similar to my wife. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting this formulated analysis, man.
My twin, for real.
You feel me? I feel like
bro, going psychoanalysis. I'm surprised you're not a therapist, bro.
No, I'm not. The racial ambiguity is baked in. You know what I'm saying? When I feel like it's something about having a black mom, white dad, that make it where it's like, oh, you can pass in a different way, guys.
It changes, bro. It changes. I don't know what it is.
But yeah,
and maybe it's different as a man with a white dad than as a woman with a white dad, like your wife.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that would impact us differently, or like what lessons we may have not been able to receive from having a black father versus having a black mom. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a married on that. But what was you saying?
Yeah,
Queen of England died. Your dad is, you know what I'm saying?
My dad's like, oh, yo, the Queen of England died. I'm like, what? Fuck the Queen, bro. What? The year my dad was born was the largest massacre of, like, in modern times, of Irish people in that bar. I'm forgetting the name. And the Queen of England ordered.
Say it again.
Oh, this is dope.
Hold on.
I see this background.
Yeah, hold on. Say it again until you said, and the Queen of England did what? Your phone went out a little bit.
In the year my dad was born, the Queen of England ordered like one of the largest mass executions of Irish people in modern times. My dad like, oh, the Queen of England, but that whiteness fucking supersedes his brain. I'm like, bro, are you stupid? But there's something about what you were just saying, whiteness taking this victim stance, that even if they logically know, they still are rooted in this. Well, they doubt it. They doubt that that whiteness had ill intention. It was an accident. It was by chance. Oh, are you sure? Like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm sure. How are you not? And I don't even know exactly what the fuck we were talking about, because we don't talk that much. But
no, what we're talking about right now, what I brought up was the settlers' move to innocence.
Not me and you. I know what we talking about. I didn't know what me and my dad was talking about. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like the entire world views England still through the paradigm of when the sun set and rose on the Empire of England. That's what I believe. And when the Queen Elizabeth died, I think you've seen how a lot of settler colonialism and coloniality is impacting niggas' brains.
Mm-hmm.
Where even if you know that the Queen of England is responsible for bloodshed throughout the world for fucking 6 decades, you still able to view her through the benevolent white lens that says, but she was a good queen, though.
Legit, yeah. Or Winston Churchill.
Yeah, Winston. To me, all these people, to me, all these people illustrate white psychopathology, the settlers move to innocence, and to me, like how immunity is always given to whiteness, even in the face of doing bad shit. I.e., if white people doing something bad, I could never define what you did in terms of your whole humanity. I.e., Thomas Jefferson was a bad person, but he's still the father of education in America, and he did something good with being able to make the Constitution. But Joseph Kony, you know what I'm saying? That
right. In where was he? Uganda or Rwanda?
Rwanda, invisible children. You feel me?
Exactly.
And this to be able to just suppose saying that
Yep.
in terms of white psychopathology, you always can separate white people from what they've done good.
Exactly.
And all the bad shit they committed. And if you can't view them as being separate, you bad. But in every other instance, you have to view the entirety of Islam through the lens of what Islam has brought bad to the world. You have to view the entirety of Iran or the entirety of Egypt based off of what it has done bad in the world. And if you try
what about this in like reverse with the ideology of like the magical Negro?
I think the same thing. To me, I think that the magical Negro serves as a way to perpetuate the benevolence of the system. The magical Negro is how we're able to justify the system around you that forced you to be magical in the first place. That's what I would argue. I think that I can, me personally, George consciously can speak a lot to the magical Negro paradigm because I think that that's what I had to navigate as a first generation nigga from Bryan College Station, Texas, that was always able to articulate himself at a certain ability, is being able to see how the magical Negro paradigm is always something that's folded in to justify imperialism. I.e., listen, the reason why this nigga is so great and the reason why the greatness should be valued because it can be folded into the desires of the empire. It can be made so improved. You black folks, all you have to do is speak with good diction. If you go get you 3-4 degrees, if you know what I'm saying, marry the right people and you go to the right things, you can maybe do X, Y, and Z. And to me, I think to me, the magical Negro is how you're able to create the exceptions to the rule. Like, yeah, maybe being a nigga is bad, but at all else fails, if you don't, if you still have to be a nigga, can you at least be a magical one? And to me, I think that is like if I might go in psychoanalysis, is like, yeah, Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. That's what he's getting into. Like, it's getting into the charismatic, magical Negro that is able to me, I think we can be critical of that.
Yeah, I just felt, that was beautifully said. I have nothing. I have no words. That was beautiful.
If we being real, think about it like this. Liberalism in this country has commodified what it means to be a magical Negro in ways that has made and forced a lot of black folks to buy into imperialism.
For sure.
Barack Obama was the embodiment of the magical Negro.
For sure.
For him to be seen in the system of imperialism, he had to take the bulls of imperialism and actualize it in ways white folks could never have dreamed of. That's the reason why he's striking his ass off. Him being a magical Negro is what literally mystified imperial violence for 8 years. Because how dare you try to, like, even think about it is, a lot of people in the black community had issues with us black leftists, quote unquote, because we are so critical of Barack Obama.
Exactly.
He is being like, hey, I don't trust you niggas that claim to be leftists because y'all are overly critical of Barack Obama.
Exactly.
So showing you, to me, this is a real illustration. Magical Negro equals, this is how I get niggas to cake for the very system.
Exactly.
I can
Boom.
Yeah, well, I keep on going with this, but what you about to say?
Man, nah, shit. The same with Kamala. I had a homie, pretty big page, but leans a lot more reformist, more liberal. A brother from Louisiana, but also from Minneapolis. We've been great friends for like 5 years now. You follow him, and he would always be critical of me. Why don't I talk shit about Trump? Why don't I'm dragging the fuck out of Kamala. Dragging her. I rarely would make videos about Trump. Because we already know. You need more information about Trump. Not that I wouldn't make videos about Trump. I made a video about Trump like 2 days ago. And this was more around the election time, right? This was like 2024. But it feels like a duty, a responsibility to let people know, yo, Kamala is arguably worse than Trump because she is like a black slave catcher. You know, slave catcher's bad, but a black one has access to the community. There's ways that they can get in and fuck shit up in ways that a white person never could.
I think what's interesting about that is that for me, having conversations with people from all over the political spectrum, is that I've figured out that what you understand in terms of reform and revolution or change in the status quo usually dictates how you view Kamala Harris and usually dictates how you view the Black Democrats, you know what I'm saying, as large. And I think it's the reason why my last conversation earlier today, I was talking to Everton Blair. He's a Democrat that's running for Congress, you know what I'm saying, in Georgia, you feel me, in Gwinnett County. He advocates for, you feel me, having multiple parties, but you know what I'm saying, he's a Democrat, and he was very critical of saying how, you know, Democratic Socialists, you know what I'm saying, some people in the Green Party, some people in working families typically pick up a different or become Democrats to try to push it forward. You know what I'm saying? It made me think about right now how it's like in having these conversations that's consciously when you say Kamala Harris slave catchers, Kamala Harris this, and I'm thinking about what I'm saying, the conversation I just had with Everton Blair. I feel like I'm always intrigued, that's what I would use, of how the political entry point of are you a leftist or a liberal, or do you think the system can be made better, or do you think it can be torn down? How that dictates your description of Kamala Harris.
Exactly.
I can see how some people were upset with individuals that was like, y'all being more critical of Kamala Harris than, you know what I'm saying?
I get it too, yeah.
I feel like I can see both of it where it's like, listen, some of this shit is symbolic. You think that symbolically, if I made more videos about Donald Trump and less about Kamala Harris, it would register more in the symbolic economy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, the flip side as well is like, hey, listen, Donald Trump has already made their mind up. They ain't fucking people over here with me. This person right here said they advocating for me, so I'm gonna obviously be more critical of them because this person said they're critical they for me. So I'm gonna watch them more. They said they for me. Them over there said they for me. But I also see how some folks talked about voter apathy and, you know, the reason why Kamala Harris lost is because niggas like you, niggas like me, that was just like this, and it was like,
well, shit, it was 15 million of us.
I think that, to me, I think that there's a lot of political laziness that's happening in the conversation about why Kamala Harris lost.
Bro, I think motherfuckers need to take a test to be able to vote. You don't just get to vote. Who the fuck are you? Not you, but
I think the opposite. I think the opposite. I think the way that Donald Trump's administration shown that they can automatically enlist people that's from the age of 18 to 42. I think that we should put the onus on the system to make sure they have informed voters and everybody should be forced to vote. Like literally,
I fuck with forced voting. I fuck with forced voting, but it's impossible.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
What you going to?
Hell no. If they can force you to have a goddamn driver license, they can force you to have some insurance. They can force.
I feel you.
They can force.
I mean, what if Australia fines you $200 or whatever the fuck if you don't vote?
It's different ways to incentivize. And I think that's the issue to me. I think that if we had more people that was forced to be, you know what I'm saying, like to me, like this, are you forced to comply to the law? Yes.
Yeah.
Me, you should be also forced to choose the individuals that's going to draft the law. It's me. That's my perspective.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for me, if you now force all Americans to vote, now they obviously force the prerequisite of you to be informed voters.
Yeah. I fuck with that. And having motherfuckers take a test to be horrible, but
yeah, definitely. And to me, I'm thinking about it from a pedagogical standpoint, pedagogy. Like, how do you learn? How do you learn? How do we study how we learn? I think from a learning standpoint, it'll be more to gain if we force this part of civic responsibility and making the word, nah, you turn 18, it's your duty to make sure you go and vote. It's not about no ethical thing. It's not that we all going, you feel me? It's like, hey, do you have to abide by the law? Do you have to pay taxes? You have to pay taxes. If you can still have to pay taxes, the taxes are all a product of politics. That's the reason why I say politics. There's no way you can incentivize forcing everybody to pay taxes or making it where you got to find a loophole to do it. You got we got one way or another. Either you got to be a billionaire and justify not paying it, or you got to be a poor motherfucker and pay it. But you got to engage it one way or another.
Yeah.
That can happen on tax level. That can happen on. That's how I think about that. But to me, I'm curious to see how people respond to this particular stream of you being like, "Hey, shit, I think Kamala Harris was a slave catcher." You know what I'm saying? And in the face of 2028, Potty JD Vance trying to be elected as the president, and whoever the Democrats put forth, and then thinking about what is that? As a matter of fact, it's a question.
Let's go. I'm about to get dragged. They're gonna be like, this yellow motherfucker was hating on Kamala.
Yeah, man. You know how you know what I'm saying? Hey, thinking about it, you biracial, so let's stick it together. You know what I'm saying? You got biracial public fighting with you, and I'm bullshitting. My real question now. So let's say between now and 2028, your following exponentially, you know what I'm saying? And in fact, had the same following right now. Let's say you had the same following now, plus maybe you exponentially grow times 5 between now and 2028. What would be your responsibility, if any, to tell your audience how to move or how to be informed in the presidential election of 2028? Does Lavish be like, fuck capitalism in its totality, and I'm not fucking with this at all, community organizing, or fuck these people, it's the best option? I'm curious, like how does the political strategy on choosing president or voting in 2028 or shit, even 2026, how does that fit within the politics? So I think that's what people be having issues with us. It's like, fuck everything. Okay, what do you engage?
Right. That's a good ass question to be able to zoom out and think, what is my strategy more long term? Because sometimes we'll just pop on here, make a video because we inspired, or because something came to us and we like, yo, and it go do 5 million views. But having an actual strategy, I was a legislative aide for a Minnesota representative. His name's John Thompson. He was best friends with Philando Castile. John Thompson was popping off so hard on the Senate floor and shit that they kicked him out of the Democratic Party, and he was just independent. He like, fuck it, y'all not gonna make me leave. He had 3 terms, and he was really like more of an activist than a politician, but he was passing laws and getting money here, there, and everywhere in the black community. He was lit. And he got me into, he didn't have to pick me. I wasn't even qualified for it. I was just like grassroots organizer, but he was like, yo, we got to bring you in the building. So for me, I'm not here to like reform shit. So if we have a character that's like Mamdani, who oftentimes feels like paid opposition, and people are going to see me say that and be like, how? Look at his funders. But it's a difficult dynamic to be like, okay, and Mamdani is doing some great shit with the 5% on the taxing the rich, but I think it would be going with politics the way every other fucking country in the world does. Vote for who you actually want, not who you think is gonna win. Bernie would have won if these bitches voted for him, but they're like, he can't win. Yes, the fuck he could have. That's why he got threatened by the government to drop out, because twice in a row he was about to win. Vote for who you want. Vote for the policies that you like. Because 50% of the time or more, depending on where you are, the person you want isn't going to win anyways. So just go for who you actually want, because you don't really want either one of the main 2 candidates ever. They're the same party. They just got a different color. What did Jesse Ventura say? Democrips and Rebloodlikins?
Yeah. Hey, but still though.
So vote for who you want, yo. Like, yeah, not because it's a social thing or because you think they're going to win. We got to, and people are so caught up in the duopoly of the 2-party system that they're like, but if you vote third party, you make the other one lose. Yeah, motherfucker, that's how it works. If I'm not voting for you, you don't get my vote. If every black person withheld their vote and said, I don't give a fuck what party you are, how many voting black people in America? How many black people over 18 that can vote? Obviously, a lot. Take off the felonies. But is at least 30 million niggas that can vote?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, fam.
Imagine every black person was like, we don't care what party. Yeah. We need you to pass these 3 policies and we'll vote for your party right now. All 30 million of us on the same day. We'll win.
I think it's my pessimism fit in, fam. I don't think they would do shit. I think that's what I'm working through. That's what I'm working through. Honestly,
I
that's what
feel you though. They'd pander like, all right, bet we got you.
I'm working through. And to just be honest with you, it's like this system is structured on anti-blackness. If we think black people refusing to participate in a system structured by anti-blackness is going to make that system change, I think that will make the system, you feel me, remix itself. It's like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that works. I think that, to me, I think that is that's why I would like to see more conversations happen, honestly. It's
I feel that for sure. That is obvious, yeah.
What is the structure? Because to me, it's like a lot of us have very romanticized ideas for what could be the outcome based off of how we approach something. And I think a lot of times, like, hey, listen, man, do I think niggas should vote? Yeah, sure. Do I think niggas withdrawing a vote would do a whole bunch? Not really.
Nah, it would have to be every motherfucker. It couldn't just be 20% of motherfuckers. It got to be every. And how do you organize that? Like,
and I think that is what makes these conversations about leftism versus liberalism or reform versus revolution or the status quo versus change so crazy, is that throughout the black community, going back from the plantation all the way now in America, there's always been a back and forth between, should we burn the plantation down? Should we just run from the plantation? Should we make the plantation better? Should we burn America down? Should we try to make America better, or should we leave America?
And I think that's why people need to expand and get that international geopolitical interconnected struggle across countries and generations and places, because then they see the black struggle in the United States is fucking what percent of the total diaspora? Fucking what percent?
Hey, but
this is not the black people do not exist only in America.
Yeah, no.
And there's liberation movements rooted in blackness that have succeeded in other countries. But inside America, we're like hyper. I mean, this is an American thing, obviously, like only us, only this matters here. We got to zoom out and see, man. That shit is crazy. You look like, what are some other, how many black people live in China? I don't know,
but some out there though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I don't know. We got to zoom out and look at.
Too though. That's you so right. I think that's what you and our work is specifically, is to help people in this country connect the dots between what's happening internationally.
For real.
I had a conversation this past weekend with like 3 different people in Atlanta about how we had differences of approaches when it came to 2024 election. And they, you know what I'm saying, how many of them was like, hey, listen, what happened internationally, I think it matters, but it don't matter more than what's happening here. And I was trying to explain to people, like, this is a false choice.
For sure.
You thinking that one of these matter more than the other is a false dichotomy. Right now, we're seeing right now, everybody that said that we should be worried about Israel, and y'all said shut the fuck up, worried about America first. You're seeing that if Israel has particular desires to expand its borders, it will bring American taxpayers' dollars in and have us fighting with Iranians. When you go to the gas tank and you see that now it's taking $70 to fill your tank and it used to be $40, you understand that what happens over there has a direct impact to what happens here.
There need to be a scale. There need to be a black scale. FBA, black leftists. Like, there need to be a fucking scale. Somebody's either fully found, what is it called? FBA to like real.
The more I travel, the more I really talk to people in the streets and shit. The FBA shit, it's a cult. It's an online cult.
Yeah. It doesn't exist anywhere outside of it. Yeah, it's rooted in slavery.
Without saying too much, you seen who pulled up to the event as a fan and wanted to come see me speak at the event at Couch to LA, huh?
We saw it. I was there. I saw it firsthand.
You seen who wanted to come there and talk about X, Y, and Z? You know what I'm saying? Carlos says parity politics ? In the most educational way. When you hear parity politics, what do you think of, and what is your response to questions about purity politics?
Me or Carlos?
You. I'm asking you.
Oh, shit.
Carlos is asking you. Carlos is asking
Oh,
us.
shit. Okay, fuck it. purity politics is crazy because we want to fight these tyrannical systems, but at the same time, we're being puritanical. So I don't think that we should be puritanical in our approach or in our strategy or in our ways, but we also don't need to fold for the lesser of two evils all the time. Cory Booker sat up there, talked for 25,000 hours. He ain't passed one motherfucking piece of legislation, still getting APAC money, and made 20 million off a book. So I'm gonna be puritanical as fuck about Cory Booker. I'm never gonna vote for him because we see where people already lie, right? So purity politics is like low key. I feel like it's a purity politics is a disingenuous terminology from oppressors uh, to make you not stand on what you believe in because it's not pragmatic, because it's too idealistic. Yeah, bro, I want good shit. I don't want to be pragmatic. I'm not asking for streets to be paved in gold. I'm asking for motherfuckers to have UBI, food stamps, the capability to fucking feed their kids. That ain't purity. And it's rooted in trying to make everything partisan. Nothing is partisan. Women's reproductive rights is not partisan. LGBTQ shit is not partisan. Climate crisis is not partisan. Black people's rights is not partisan. You know what wasn't partisan? Stop Asian hate. That shit wasn't partisan. They was like, fuck it, unanimously, stop Asian hate. But when it come to everything that I just named, it's partisan. Why is it partisan? It's not. Purity politics is rooted in you like, oh, you're going too far one way or the other. That's some made up co-opted bullshit. But I get it. We shouldn't be puritanical.
I think that purity politics has become a intellectually lazy word that's just thrown around because you don't want to deal with the specific issue that's at space. So now you throw out conversations about purity. And I think anybody that's dealing with politics understand that politics is defined in opposition to pure. So anything, whatever I think about purity, it's in opposition to politics. So I wouldn't even take that paradigm into talking about politics and this stuff at all. Like, period. Nothing is pure about politics at all. Nothing is at all. So I reject that notion. But I guess I do think what they're trying to say, like nobody's perfect. It's like I'm not asking you to be perfect. I care about this particular thing, and I'm saying that this particular thing is tied to multiple things. And to me, really, I see conversations about purity politics illustrating ignorance to international relations. You never hear purity politics unless we're talking about international relations. And what they're saying is that you should be able to deal with this flaw in terms of international relations and still just be able to do it. And it's based off of what they view as being valuable and what they don't view as being valuable. Most people that deploy the concept of purity politics, whatever they saying is pure, guaranteed they don't care about it. Or they think it should be valued, i.e., you care about Israel-Palestine, purity politics. But to me, a part of being on this part of being a leftist is that you can be right, but being right too early will get you fucked up.
Literally.
Everything now that's going on with Iran, with our American soldiers being killed for Israeli, you know what I'm saying, desires. This shit we was already saying. We already said, hey, if y'all let them do this and you keep on supporting them regardless of what laws they break in, regardless of who they killing, it sets a bad precedent. What are we doing right now?
And then we wonder why in Minneapolis we got crazy ass fucking drones over here, little 20-foot drones. Because when it was going 20-foot drones in Israel or in Skydio drones, actually, who Kevin Durant invests in Gaza and Iran and Lebanon, we like but it don't affect me. Nah, it do. Come to Minneapolis, you'll see them. Or go. What's the big ass ice camp in Texas called?
Dilly detention.
But it didn't matter in Gaza. Okay.
I just think that a lot of us, I say different. I'm gonna be critical about it. Capitalism has incentivized a lot of us to be some selfish bastards. And as a result of us being selfish bastards, we believe that politically things only matter unless it can be tied to the self. I would argue that not only is that anti-communal and anti-black at its core, I would argue that is what gets in the way of us being able to move forward and get the progress that we really desire.
Yeah, hell yeah. Which again, now, what's worse? White, male, dominant, patriarchal, regular ass white dude capitalist? Let's say Grant Cardone, Dan Belzerian, or somebody who came from our community, a fucking spook, a black capitalist.
Yeah. Lolita Garcia asks, from purity politics to pressure politics, who can we pressure? Who wants to be for the people but scared versus who pretends to be for the people but works for the man? And I think that is this last part right here is that's what people don't want to talk to when it comes to purity politics. You don't want us to have a conversation about who pretends to be for the people versus who pretends to be, you know what I'm saying, for corporations versus who they actually for. How dare you talk about following the money? How dare you talk about how different politicians have a conflict of interest in caring about their constituents versus caring about corporate interests? If you care about that, you are being parody politics. And I think that to me is like you being intellectually lazy. Because you don't want to do intellectual labor, it's easy for you to be like parody politics bad instead of you dealing with the substance of what I'm actually talking about.
Boom.
But yeah, man, we've been talking for a long time. You got anything? Actually, Carlos Lamar Dixon, can you give me a little bit more of this? This gonna be the last point that we, you know what I'm saying, get at before we close this. What do you mean by this? So, was your FBA black leftist comment was purity politics? I don't know what you meant by that. I don't know what you meant by that. But also, I think that I said that what I said about purity politics. I'm curious what you think about that though. What you mean by that? Put that in the please put that in the comment section. Shout out to you for commenting too. I appreciate you. And starting to bring this to a close though, what do you think people can learn the most, or what do you think people can learn right now that help them become better anti-capitalists, anti-imperialists? You know what I'm saying? What is something that has helped you understand?
You're closer. Anybody on here, I don't give a fuck if you got $100 million. You're still closer to any regular Iranian citizen or any Iraqi citizen in the 2000s or any Vietnamese citizen in the 60s or anybody in the Congolese genocide, Dutch, or anybody, indigenous Americans, or anybody that was black people that was on a slave plantation, than you were to the goddamn plantation owner, than you are to the billionaire oligarch class. You're closer to somebody, you're more closely related to somebody in Gaza who lost 50 family members than you are to the motherfuckers making the bombs. So when you look at money as the outcome, nah, money cannot be the goal. Money is like an exchange, reciprocity of energy for something that we did good in the fucking world. It's just an exchange of energy. It can't be the outcome. It can't be the goal. And when we can shift our idea and reclaim our narrative to being, I want to be wholesome, I want to plant more trees, I want to do whatever, maybe money can help you and it'll be available because of what you did, but you didn't do it for the money. The capitalists want, come on, bro. If you haven't, if people on here don't have the education about being anti-capitalist, I don't know, bro. What's the best anti-capitalist book? Shit.
Yeah, I say start with some black Marxism. You feel me? That black
True,
Marxism.
yeah. Go on YouTube and look up Afro-Marxist.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got to go. I feel like you don't have to have a PhD level understanding of literature to be able to read it. You know, and be able to understand. And then being real too, shit. You can just read a little bit like the Communist Manifesto. It's really made for. It's made down like a pamphlet for you to be able to read it. You know what I'm saying? And you can go from there. Okay, Carlos, you said, are one of those groups better than the other, or do you rock with either group more? And you asking this in relationship to leftists.
So when I made that scale of FBA to black leftists,
rock more than the other for sure, and definitely think that spreading scale. You feel me? That spectrum is like on one part of the spectrum, you are way closer to oppression, power, dominance, and way closer to capitalism, imperialism. I think you can do some good. And on the other far left of that spectrum, the leftist is as far anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist you can think of. I would argue that a lot of those black conservative, black liberal groups are a lot closer ideological level to the oppressor than they are to the oppressed. And I think that a lot of conversations about purity politics usually are trying to get away from how there's a certain issue that aligns way more with them than us, and you feel like, oh, pop, purity politics, and shit ain't perfect. Yeah, ain't nobody.
And it's rooted in proximity to whiteness giving you access, resources, power. Like the
And
closer I can get to whiteness.
argumentation too. It's straw man argumentation too. It's like, to me, straw man. You
Oh
are
yeah.
to points that was never made. When a nigga say genocide is bad and you say purity politics bad, nowhere in the argument genocide is bad as saying purity is necessary. Purity is needed. We gotta have perfection. Nowhere in that is saying it. You see what I'm saying? To me, it's
the debate legend right here.
making it a whataboutism. I said genocide bad. Your response was purity politics bad. So what you telling me is, in the world of genocide being bad, we have to have perfection.
Right. That's literally it. It's mind-boggling, bro.
Thing, it has to be perfection. That's not what I'm saying. As a matter of fact, if you hear me make a critique about imperialism and capitalism and your response is purity politics, you don't understand what's being said, and you're not responding to what's being said. You're making it
whataboutism, yeah.
Like, nah, hell nah. You think about this. If you believe that being a foundational Black American mean that you are more entitled to being an American than other people, yeah, you a dipshit.
Dip.
I can debate it, you feel me? And you know, it is what it is, but it's like, hey, if just this is a subtler move to innocence. It's a subtler move to innocence that allowed for you to believe that your presence in this country, because you was enslaved in this country, matters more than it actually matters. And it's like, nah, don't you.
There was somebody at that event that was like, yo, I'm reparations only for Americans. She like, anybody Jamaica, Haiti, any islands, they not the same as us. I'm like, shorty, you're Nigerian. And so are these motherfuckers in Haiti, bro. I was like, okay. Reparations only.
And to me,
oh my God.
I put some specificity on it. America paying reparations to only people that was enslaved in America. Yeah, sure. But the concept of reparations is not monopolized by Black Americans.
Literally,
the entire Western world is indebted to enslaved Africans. The entire Western world. The reason why you have the transatlantic slave trade from the old world to the new world is literally how our ancestors built up the entire new world, from Chile all the way goddamn to Canada. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? And this is why I think the master teacher John Henry Clark come in. Like, hey, nigga, the boat dropped you off here. Just because the boat dropped you off over here don't make you more special than a nigga that was dropped off over there. And I think to me, this is American exceptionalism.
Purity.
Exceptionalism. Really, that like American purity makes you believe that because your Black ass is American, that you're more special than the other niggas in the diaspora. That's American exceptionalism. You know, the white American also believes their whiteness is special too because of their patriotism in America. You act just to me, it's just like
damn, that's a crazy connection.
Fall too far from the tree. Like, you know, the apple don't fall too far from the tree when it comes to our patriot, you know what I'm saying, oppressors. A lot of y'all want to emulate your humanity by trying to copy, paste, perform the humanity that the oppressor has done. So now you like a Black white supremacist. You believe banging the foundation of America will make America respect you. You better ask the niggas that got put on trees when they came back from World War I, World War II. Them niggas too believe that fighting militarily for the foundation of America would mean they get their freedom. They got lynched in their military gear. GI Bills was given to World War I victims, veterans, World War II veterans, and the niggas that went and put their blood, sweat, and tears for American imperialism got hung on trees. So when y'all start talking about purity politics, that register, it goes like under my head, above my head, because it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You want to have a little bit of comfort, and you want to only sit with that comfort in a reality of a bunch of, you feel me, violence. You want me to put way more value on those little moments of comfort in a reality of violence. And that's what y'all call purity politics. Y'all call purity politics by how dare you focus on that part of violence? What about this little piece of comfort right here? If you can't satisfy this little piece of comfort, nigga, you purity politics.
Damn.
I'm sorry. Shit. I don't want that. In fact, I deserve more. And you should be a goddamn shame of yourself for deploying purity politics in the name of settling. Because you mad because I ain't gonna settle. How dare you want a candidate that's not genocidal? How dare you want a candidate that ain't taking tech money? How dare you want a candidate that ain't taking oil money? Because you want me to be comfortable. Nigga, you being ungrateful. You niggas being ungrateful. That's what I heard. You purity pop, you nigga, you're being ungrateful. What about it? It's like, no, fam, you have a certain register of seeing the world that I don't have allegiance to. And you know what, to end this rant, in this live, that's what I say right here. And I defend this too. To anybody, mama, daddy, homeboys, other colleagues in social media, I believe what I'm about to say is something that's of substance that can bring about very important conversations. When y'all say purity politics, when you say purity politics, you're debating about the comfort of white supremacy, and you're saying that you should be grateful. Purity politics means you being an ungrateful nigga. That's what I'm arguing. Anytime you say purity politics, you saying, how come you can't be a grateful nigga for the impurity that we have? How come this is not enough? That's the purity politics when I hear it. That's what it means. How come this ain't enough?
You're a genius, bro.
It ain't enough. Now what? Now what? But yeah, man, how could we help you in your everyday, whatever you're doing? And you know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm about to head to Cuba, back to Cuba in less than 2 weeks. I just got to say, you're a genius, bro. Anytime I bring you up, I'm like, this is the smartest man in our generation, bro.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far, but I appreciate you, you know?
You are generation's philosopher, bro. When we 60 years old, you going to be like crazy, dog. So, yeah, I'm about to go to Cuba, connect with an organization down there called Belly the Beast. I'm going for May Day, which is like the largest labor solidarity movement in the fucking world. And Americans, we don't know about that shit. And there's like 2 million people that go to Cuba just for this like socialist labor solidarity shit, bro. So I'm contemplating bringing down a whole bunch. This is my second time going. And when I first went, I brought like portable chargers and medicine. But I realized their needs are less. Like a portable charger is too much. That's like 4 months of work for the cost of that. The minimum wage in Cuba is $4 a month. So you bringing down an $80 portable charger, this like, bro, hold up. This is like, you know what I mean? What the fuck am I gonna do with this? I can't even sell it. You want me to use this thing that's worth like 5 months of like, so it's more like toothpaste. It's more like toothbrushes. The medicine was on point. So I might fundraise to bring down so much. Last time I brought 70 pounds, but I was a part of an aid convoy that ended up bringing 50 tons. So my little 70 pounds was nothing. But on this one, I might bring down my own like 300 pounds of shit. So thinking of fundraising for that and connecting with orgs down there to distribute that as best as possible directly to the people. And I'll be down there as a part of like not a documentary necessarily, but maybe like a short about my first experience at May Day. So yeah, man, until then, I'll be here in Minneapolis. Real quick, take me 30 seconds. When Renee Good was killed, white people turned up in a way they never had because they hadn't seen anybody that looks like their mom or their sister get killed. And then 2 weeks later, it happened to somebody that looked like their brother or their dad, Alex Preddy. That being said, when Renee Good was killed, people were in the streets having autonomous community telegram chats, blocking off intersections, neighborhood patrol, because there was like 400 ICE agents here. At the height, Alex Preddy, there was over 3,100. Now, Operation Metro Surge is over, but we still had like 400 ICE agents, which is what had us up in arms 5 months ago. Look at the desensitization. So while I'm here in Minneapolis, that's pretty much it. Locked in on that, in community, and then just getting prepared to go back to Cuba for real. So my Instagram, Twitter, all that shit is Lavish Mac. Lock in. I just made a Substack if you want to fuck with me on there. It's not going to be this level of content from the genius right here, but it'll be updates on travels and shit.
Updates on travels and things, man. I appreciate y'all for popping in. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so y'all know I'll be on my regular program, Education is Elevation. I'll actually be at Cullen Middle School in Houston, Texas, Shout out to everybody in sunny side of Houston, man. I'll be in the hood tomorrow, dealing and talking with people in the education space, trying to make sure we empower them young black students, man, especially them young black boys. You know what I mean? That y'all pushing the YN doctrine on all the young niggas. So I'm trying to make sure, you feel me, they view that YN as a way to be anything they want to be, especially because a lot of y'all is on some racial pathology. But I'm gonna say that for tomorrow at Cullet Middle School, 10:30 a.m. Central. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate you, Kyle, Carlos, and D. I really appreciate y'all for being in the comment section the way y'all was, man. Pull up on me tomorrow. Pull up on me tomorrow. If we ever need us some money, y'all see what we got right here. We got us. All we need to give, bro, is a couple of professional headshots. You see what I'm saying? Get this nigga a manager or something, you know what I mean? And we got he ready. You feel me? He ready for the 2026, 2027 rom-coms.
Let's see where we can take it.
Y'all, so y'all telling me y'all can't see this Matthew McConaughey, Corbin Blue looking motherfucker in one of them good old Warner Brothers, you know what I'm saying? Listen. As a matter of fact, y'all see the vision, right?
They see it. They know it.
So Matthew McConaughey had a like a little spicy romance with Tatiana Ali, and they had a kid. You feel me? And they had to. I'm making Tatiana Ali. I'm making this a random black woman. In my mind, this could be Matthew McConaughey's son with a black woman. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, and we did it. I'm here. Nobody knew about it. You were the first to figure out the puzzle. I love it. Hey, bro, let me know when the agents call. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Hey, good to be on here, brother. It's an honor. Let's stay connected, man. We need to bring you